Hello everyone, this is Architectural Graphics Studio. I'm Puneet Gupta, your lecturer, and right now in this lecture we're going to continue with our chapter 5, which is Basics to Revit. So in this chapter we're going to learn how to use Revit properly and how to use the basic tools of the Revit software, and we would prepare a plan accordingly. Now let's go to the Revit. Now once you've opened the Revit software, you'd find the window like you're seeing in the screen. So this here is the window of Revit uh, Architecture 2015. So you could do this with another version of Revit as well, but I would recommend you to use Revit software higher from 2015, which would be very easy for you to accommodate. Now let's go ahead with our tutorial. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the basic tools of Revit, and we are going to learn how to use the Revit tools accordingly to our design, and we are going to make a basic house plan like we are seeing in this project. We are going to use Revit tools to create a building plan and a building elevation tree like we are seeing in the sample here above. Now let's open a new project. So once you have opened your Revit window, you'd find a lot of tools in the background. To start with our project, we just have to use the new tool. Go from the new project over here. You could create another new project from the Revit Dropbox menu from here also. You could open a previous file, or you could also open a new file from here. It would open the same browser like we've seen here. So once you've started with the new project, we have to go and find a default template. So default template has all of the requirements you need to start for designing. So I would recommend everyone to use a template before designing any kind of project, because it would make the designing work very efficient and very easy. Now let's browse for our sample template. So you might have found your templates, because I've given everyone a part of the templates in the class. So if you don't have, please you could download it, or you could share from your friends. So now I'm opening a sample template. So this is the default template that we are going to use. This is the default empirical template. We would work in inches and feet. So we are using this default RT. So this is the template that we are going to start the project with. So please be patient, because Revit software is a bit heavier on the sides of designing, and it would take some time to load, but the wait is worth a while. Please be patient for a while, then you'd be ready for the designing process. Now once the loading is complete, you'd find a blank window with all of the tools and all of the design components like you're going to see right now. So here we are in the 92%. Okay, after a few seconds, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, you will find the Revit template being opened. So this is the basic template that we're going to use. Here in the architecture tab, we could find the modify tool, the wall tool, door, window, component, column, and similarly other tools as well. These tools are being kept here so that we would find them easier to use in our design project. If you want any kind of structural components, you could go by to the structural tab. You have the insert tab over here. You can modify, you can link Revit with other softwares, or you could import CAD files or any kind of other softwares from this window. This Annotate tab will help you in dimensioning your project, giving your scheduling. We have Analyze as well for energy settings. We have Massing and Site for landscaping. We have Collaborate tools. This is the View section, which we are going to use very often for 3D views and sections. And another tools for materials like Manage, other add-in components. And this is the Modify bar, where you could modify, copy, move, or rotate your components or design. So let's start with our Revit designing. Here in this window you could find a properties browser right over in the left corner. So this browser is very important. If you are going to do any kind of designing, the properties browser will help you edit the tool that you're using or edit the family that you're using. So basically this tool would be open for you, but if it is closed, I would recommend you to open this properties browser and the project browser, so that it would be easier for you to design the further detailings. Now next we have the project browser here in the bottom corner of the left side. This project browser will contain some floor plans, ceiling plans, elevations, legends, schedules, which you are going to design in this project. So basically when we are going to design anything, we will do the designing in the floor plans, and then we are going to compare it with the elevations like this one. So this is the default project browser. You have only 3 floor plans here. One is the level 1, level 2, and another is the side. But if you require any kind of other levels to add up with this project, you can easily add those levels in the elevation tab. So first of all, make the list of requirements that you want to incorporate in this design. For the sample here, we are just going to make a single story model building with a slope roof. So we are just going to make the requirements as per those requirements. So to start and to move ahead with the designing process, at first go to the elevation section here, go to the south view. So here in the south view you could see that there are 2 levels, this level 1 and level 2. This is the basic level we have as shown in the floor plans, this level 1 and this level 2. Now going back in the elevation section in the south plan, this is the south elevation. So if you want to add a new level, you would add the levels in the elevations section. You cannot add the levels in the floor plans. So whatever elevations, whatever levels that you require, you must add those levels in the elevations zone. Now at first let's see over here, we need a foundation, because any kind of project we are going to do, we are going to do it with foundation and other levels as well, as we are going to make sections and other detailings of the those things in the municipal drawings or our detailed drawings in our design projects. We require a foundation level, so we add a foundation level in this section. So here it's very easy, just select the line here of the level 1 and just double click the part where the level 1 text is written. So you just rename it accordingly. I would rename it with 00 foundation, since this is the 00 level, the foundation level. I would rename it as the foundation level. Press enter and you just say OK, say yes for renaming the corresponding layers. So this level 1 has been renamed to 00 foundation, and just below the level we have the dimensions. So it's this level is in 0 feet 0 inches, but we require this foundation to be below the ground level. So what we do is we just go double click this area, double click the pattern, and then when the box of the dimension will show up, you just change the dimension. Change the dimension to -5 feet or -6 feet, whatever you have kept it in the design. So after this foundation has been laid, the foundation is in -5 feet. We have level 2. Level 2 is in 10 feet. Let's rename this level 2 as 01 ground level or entry level. Let's keep it as the entry level because it is the entry ground level. So this is the entry level. We're renaming it. Press OK. Then we rename the dimensions. We resize the dimensions to 0 feet 0 inches. Press enter. Here we have got a new dimension of 0 feet 0 inches. Foundation is at -5 feet and the entry level is at 0 feet. Going above this level, if we need a plinth level, we would add the plinth level above this area. So this plinth level would act as a ground floor planning level. Similarly as before, go to the architectural tab, select level. Now this is new because we just edited the existing layers, but if we need to add a new level to this existing drawing, we go to the architecture tab, when the architecture tab is in place, select the level tab here. The level tab is always shown on the rightmost top corner of architectural tab. So select the level tab. Once the level tab is selected, select pick lines. Now we are going to use pick lines from the draw tab. Select pick lines, and then we have a new modify level here. So keep in mind everyone that this modify bar will always come in contact when you are doing designing in any kind of project. So this modify bar will have a dimension of offset. So this offset bar here would be renamed as accordingly to the new level that we require. So for say if we require a 2 feet height plinth level, then you add offset 2 feet. When you have written 2 feet offset here, you select the pick lines tool and then select the entry level area. If you could see, if you drag the cursor above the entry level line, the new level will be formed above the entry level. But if you pull the cursor downwards, then the new level would be found below the entry level. So keep in mind, if you want the level to be above, simply just see the reference line where the level is coming. So I need the level in this 2 feet level above the entry level, so I've selected this layer. Now I'm going to rename this level as 02 plinth, or no, let's say it is the ground floor level, so we add this ground floor. So this is the ground floor level. If the new level is not being renamed, press enter while you are exiting your renaming. 02 ground floor. Press enter. Once you come with the rename tool, you rename it as accordingly. Similarly, if you need another layer above the ground floor level, for say if you require a roof level above the ground floor, go to the same process, go to the level tab. When in the architecture mode, you select the level tab. Once the level tab is selected, go to its draw tab, select pick lines and use the offset you require. For this design, we are going to have the height of 9 feet 6 inches or 9 feet 4 inches for the standard height, 9 feet 4 inches. Then we use the pick lines tool. Now the new level has been created. So new level has been created here. This is the 03 level, 03, and this is the new level that we are going to rename it as the roof level. Let's rename it as the roof level. (03) roof level. Press enter and then press yes. Now once your desired levels have been created, you would go back to the drawing panel. Here we are going back to the floor plans. Let's start with the foundations. This is the foundations tab. In the project browsers, we double click the foundations tab. We have a view of a blank view of the drawing. So nothing is drawn here, so it is being shown blank. Keep in mind regards that this here is the north view, this is the east, this is the west, and this is the south. So these views represent your drawing project. And what we are going to design, we are going to design it inside this boundary. Now let's start with the designing. You have to start with the walls. Let's select the wall tool right below the architecture tab. We select the wall tool and we select wall architectural tab. Once the wall architectural tab is selected, you'd find that this properties palette here already shows a generic wall of 8 inches. Before doing any kind of design, keep in mind that Revit is a BIM, it is a building information modeling. So what information you are putting it into its input, the design would come as accordingly. So we don't need to change, we don't need to go with the same basic wall types that are shown in the Dropbox, because we could create our own basic wall type, and we could use those wall type for other drawing purposes as well. Now let's select one generic 8-inch wall for now, and then what we do is we would go to the edit type. Whatever tool we have, we could edit it in this edit type panel. Once the edit type panel is open, you'd find these type properties like you've just seen in the screen. What we do is we will rename this type, this generic 8-inch wall, as our own. We would make this wall our own type. We would first duplicate this wall. Let's duplicate this tab, and once it is duplicated, let's rename this wall as a sample wall, sample 9-inch wall. So this is the sample 9-inch wall we're going to use for the project. But keep in mind, we're going with the foundations. So let's cancel this one. We are going to the foundations. So for foundations, we use the retaining walls. So here, what we are going to do is we are going to use the retaining 12-inch concrete wall. We will not edit the properties, but we will duplicate it so that it would not affect other properties of this retaining concrete wall. So we just duplicated it, and we would use the word sample retaining 12-inch concrete. So this layer has been renamed. It is duplicated and it has been renamed. Press OK. Then we have the sample retaining wall. Now, starting with the design of the building, keep in mind that we have to design the building in a clockwise manner. We would always start from the left bottom corner, and then we would go through the clockwise direction. For example, if we are going to plan a rectangular building like the one we are doing right now, let's start with the bottom most part of this east direction. I'd point my wall here, and then I would go to the left hand side, going right and going through the clockwise direction. So we are going to the left hand side. Let's keep it 50 feet. Okay, now 50 feet dimension have been entered, and then we go upwards. Let's say 30 feet. So we have prepared a rectangular wall. So once this upper wall has vertical wall has been created, we would find a reference line, so you can easily plan the walls accordingly. So once the rectangular retaining walls have been prepared, we'll go back to the entry level. Now when the entry level is open, keep in mind that the new wall that we just created is in the foundation layer, but what we missed here is the height. Do you know what the height of this concrete wall is? If you don't know, you could always select the walls and then press edit type. Here in the edit type menu, you could just see what the height of this wall is. So say this wall is in the sample height of 20 feet. So what we do is we will rename this section as 5 feet height. So this structure over here would showcase 5 feet height for this structure. Once it has been selected, press apply and then OK. Go back to the south view and compare the dimension if it has been come accordingly or not. Once selected, you could find the wall properties over here, and you could change it as accordingly here. The unconnected 6 feet would go to 5 feet. So once selected, press OK. Then go back to the south view, and you could find that the foundation wall has been come to the entry level point of 5 feet. So here the foundation retaining wall has been laid. Now let's go to the entry level. We're going into the entry level, so double click this entry level and you'd find a fainted expression of the walls below. Here what we do is we find a new wall. We'll create a new wall. Let's say if we are going to prepare a new wall, that is we'd use a generic 8-inch wall from the drop down box here. Once the wall is selected from the generic 8-inch wall, we'd select the generic 8-inch wall, then we go to the edit type menu. For every kind of designing for tools, we edit the tools at first, because we don't want to ruin the existing condition of the type and properties and families that we have given here. Now for this one, we are going to rename it as sample 9-inch wall. So this is a sample 9-inch wall that we're going to use for our remaining design project. So you could change the type properties accordingly. For you could use a different type of wall for the plinth. You could use different type of wall for your building elevations. As accordingly to your design requirements, you can have the requirements done with you. So now we select the sample 9-inch wall. Then in the edit menu, we go. Let's go back again. Here we have the parameters and here we have the value. To edit the structure of this wall, because we don't need the 8-inch width shown over here. So now we are going to edit this wall from the structure. Once clicked, you find that this wall has 3 different type of properties, but this is the basic. Number 2, structure 1 is the basic property that we are going to change. Now here, let's make this wall a 9-inch wall, a 9-inch thickness wall with let's say a material. If you want a different type of material, you could easily use the type of material you want to showcase. Here you could select the type of materials that you want to display here. Since this is the entry level walls, we are going to use let's use a brick fascia for this one. Let's use a brick fascia. We are using a masonry brick type of design. Pressing it OK. So once selected, let's go back again. When you've done with the thickness category, what we do is we insert another layer. We rename it as finish 1/4. When the existing structure is present, what we do is we just insert another layer. When we insert another layer, we rename it as finish 1/4. So this layer must be above structure 1, and here in the category we could easily select our type of masonry brick. So I'm going to use the masonry brick for this one. And for the finishing, we always have to have a different type of thickness to showcase. For this one, I'm just going to use 1/2 inch thickness, no, 1/4. Let's say 1/4 thickness of brick masonry to display on the exterior fascia. Let's press OK. Now the sample 9-inch wall has been created. Here, before doing any further work, keep in mind that the location line is in the wall center line. If you do any kind of designing, the wall would correspond with the center line of the existing drawings. So what we do is, and this one, if we want to take the reference of this existing wall, you take the finished face interior part, because we want this wall to be in interior of this existing wall. So going through the clockwise direction, always the clockwise direction. Once the wall has been selected, we would keep the dimensions here in the modify bar. You have the modify dimensions to 2 feet. Once the 2 feet dimension is selected, just start clicking the reference points. Once our desired points, our desired walls have been created, Now these walls will represent our sample walls. Let's go to the ground floor menu, double click the ground floor tab, and you'd find the painted expression of the ground floor. This is the entry level walls that we're seeing right now for our reference. Just use the same process again. This is a sample basic wall. What we have here, we edit it, we duplicate it. We are going to use the sample 9-inch wall, but we're going to use a different wall for the upper fascias. So now what we're going to do is we are going to use exterior wall. So let's name it as exterior 9-inch wall, and we go to the edit menu. Then in the finishing, if you don't want a brick type of finishing in your fascia, you could always go with other options. For example, if you want tiling options, you could always use tiles. But if you want stone masonry, or you want a glass block, or you want other type of layers that we're seeing here, metal, insulation, I think we'd go with the color over here. So we are just going to use paint. We're going to use the paint as paint. So using paint option, let's select the color. I suggest we use a more decent or more lighter color. Let's say this one. We've selected this color. Let's press apply, OK, and here you have a different type of wall. Press OK, then you have the exterior wall, and then we start the designing once again. Now press the interior selection, because we have selected the interior points for our designing. Now once the walls are created, keep in mind that these dimensions of the walls would affect others as well. So what we do is we're going to go with the exterior wall, but here in the dimension menu, in the modify bar, before doing any kind of design of the walls, you have to rename the dimensions. So here either you could go with the height up to the roof level. That would be very easy. In this way you could easily have the dimensions. You don't need to add the dimensions accordingly. Simply add the walls as shown here in the screen. You just connect the dimensions. Voila. Now here we have the walls prepared. And once the walls are prepared here, you could just tally it with the south view. As you can see in the south view, the wall is in contact. So this is the plinth wall. It's in brick fascia, and the above of this area we have another wall. So there are other detailings that you could do in a basic wall also, but that would be in the course, in the advanced course of Revit architecture. Here we are just going through with the basic tools and basic designing concepts. So following with our course pattern, let's go back. Now here we can see that these dimensions, these elevations are in a plane format. These are in a 2D drawing format. If you want to see it in a realistic view, you could go in this tab as shown in the scale. As shown next in the scale, you could just choose the realistic option over here. If you choose the realistic option, as you can see, the pattern that would be showcased in the 3D in the exterior of the view would be displayed right now. Now moving ahead with our designing, let's go to the ground floor level, because we're going to do our most of the planning in this ground floor level. Okay, once the ground floor is in contact here, let's add some elements to this ground floor. If you say you require a floor, you add a floor accordingly on the entry level. If you say, if you require a plinth level, if you require plinth above the entry level, you place the plinth in the entry level, but the floor would just go beyond the entry level. Now for ease, what I'm going to do is where I'm going to have a floor in the entry level, and I'm just going to use that floor for the plinth for the landing level designing as well. Now to start with the floor, let's go to the entry level. This we are doing just for the plinth, for the exterior plinth area. If you want a exterior plinth area, we just add a floor. When we are adding the floor, select the floor from the architectural tab. In the architecture tab here, you have the floor option. In the floor option, select the architectural floor. Once the architectural floor is selected, you use the type of floor that you want to obtain here. So here it is basically in peak walls. So the peak walls tool is very efficient in our designing mode. So you could also use this peak wall tool for our design. So adding this peak wall tool, you could add a floor below this level. In the entry level, let's say this generic floor is already been selected, but we have to rename this floor accordingly. So what we do is we rename this floor from the edit type tool. Duplicate this floor. We use a sample floor of 12 inch. So this is a sample floor for G level. So this is the G level, but this is the ground floor level sample floor. Press OK, and you have the sample floor over here. You could always go with the structure. To change the thickness of the structure, and if you want the structure, you want to add another structure over here, you could add another finishing layer, because once the structure is in place, you have to have a finishing level of some sorts. So if you need any kind of finishing level, you go to the finish exterior, and then you go and select a material. Let's say if you want tiles on the external, if you want ceramic tiles, so this is the appearance that we are going to get in the tile. But if you want another type of tile, you could always go with wooden floor, wooden decking, wooden flooring tiles. If you want miscellaneous other type of tiles, you have here. If you want concrete type of masonry type of look, you could always go with the masonry type of look. These are concrete blocks, masonry blocks. So I think this concrete blocks would also do for right now. So we use this concrete masonry layer for our designing, and we have to have a thickness of some sort for this finishing layer. So this finish 1/4 explains the external finishing layer. Coming back with our design, here this finish 1/4 layer is for the exterior finishing layer. So we are adding a thickness for this layer of 1/4 thickness. We are just adding this thickness for showing it. Okay, once the floor has been selected, you just select the offset here. So the sample floor 12 inch of the ground level has been edited as accordingly our requirements. In the offset bar here, place an offset of, let's say 5 feet length level would be necessary, I think. Okay, let's 5 feet plinth level, it's okay. So the plinth has been added. Once it is selected, you could see that this floor would come right below the entry level, but here we require this level to come above this level. So what we can do is, once this floor is selected, when we are selecting this floor, we move it above the ground level. Here, moving it like we just did, we just created this floor above the entry level. Now as we can see, you don't have the 3D view right now. So if you want a 3D view, what we can do, so right now we are just seeing a 2D elevation view of the south elevation. If you require a 3D view, go to the floor plan. Go to the floor plan, entry level, this is the 00 level. So go to the 00 level ground, and what we do is we go to the view tab. The view tab is just besides the collaborative tab. Go to the view tab, select the 3D view and select camera. Once the camera has been selected, now take the angle that you want to visualize. So this is the angle that we are seeing in the 3D. As we did in the elevation zone, you change the graphic style, change it to realistic view. So this graphic you're seeing here is in the 3D view. From here we have the steering wheel, so we have this navigation wheel. We could zoom in, we could orbit. Once you're doing the orbiting, as you can see that the flooring is in concrete paving. So I think this works for right now for us. For just practice we're doing. So this basic level of elevations have been completed. Don't require this right now. We can just pan it accordingly. So once the steering view, in the orbit tool, let's orbit and keep it in this direction. So once our desired direction has been selected, go to the entry level view once again, go to the ground floor. So ground floor level has the walls that we require editing. Now moving ahead with our designing, let's add another floor to this ground floor level, because we need the separate floor for the interior of this building. Going to the same pattern, select the floor tool, go to the architectural tool. Once the architectural floor is selected, you could edit the sample floor type we have already with us. We just duplicate it, we rename it as the 4-inch wooden floor. Let's name it wooden floor, and let's edit it. Let's make the finishing of a parquet. Let's use parquet material. So we go to the wooden flooring material. Here in the wooden flooring material, you use the wooden flooring. So basically this color is okay for now, because you can see the appearance. This appearance is quite good. So let's select this appearance. Thickness is also okay. Now for this structure over here, let's enter the flow of 6-inch height. So this is a 6-inch thick flow. Now once our new flow has been renamed and resized, now it's the same process that like we did before. We pick walls, but in this one we will not keep the offset. Offset would be 0 feet 0 inches, and we'll pick the walls accordingly, going in the right, going the clockwise direction. Here we have the flow. Once the flow is selected, press OK. As you could see, a gradual grading has been done. So this, what happened is, the automatic save option just reminded us to save our project, so we could save our project in our desired way. So let's so in this additional file we would rename this in the Revit sample project, we'd name it as a sample NEC project 1. Okay, we have saved this. Now we have a new project. We have saved the project as sample NEC project 1. Once you've saved this project, let's go back to the ground floor level, and we are going to design the interior of this building. As you could see in the elevation section in the south part, and there we have also the 3D view to be of exact. So here we can see that these two floors have different type of materials. So this is the existing original floor of the entry level. We are making this, keeping this as the plinth, and this is the interior flooring. Now once your desired view is obtained, go back again, we go back to the ground floor. Let's go back to the ground floor plan, and then we start designing the doors, windows and interior walls. Let's add interior walls to this building. We are going to the same process. We use this wall tool. Once the wall tool is selected, go to the drop down menu, and just select a sample wall. Let's say generic 4-inch brick wall. Let's use the brick wall. Okay, for now, and let's edit it as let's duplicate this generic brick wall. So we use this interior. This is the interior wall. This is the interior 4-inch brick wall. So let's rename it as accordingly. Press OK. Now adding a wall, you could just simply add a wall in the center and divide this room in half, or as per your requirement you could plan this building as accordingly. So I think let's going with the center point of this wall. Add a wall accordingly. Add your required walls. So you could design your walls as per your requirement. It is not necessary that the wall should be as I've shown you right now. We're just doing this for practice for now. So you could easily plan your building accordingly and use your doors and windows. Now here you use a door. If you want going to plan a door inside of this building, you have a very type of existing doors over here, but these are all existing simple doors. If you require any other type of door for this special design, you go to the edit type tool, and then here we load the type of doors we want. We could load different type of doors from the internet. I would just recommend you to go to the internet and just browse for some Revit families for doors, for windows, and keep your collections in your respective places, so that you could use those collections for your other designing projects as well. Now here I have some collections of of my own. I don't have a lot of collections, so I just use a sample door that I downloaded it from net. So this is a sample door, a double shutter door. Now before using this door, what I would do is I would just rename the parameters of this door, because dimensions are not to be exact, I say. So what I do is I would rename this dimensions as 7 feet 6 inches. So I wanted the height of 7 feet 6 inches, and I need 4 feet wide door, so it can be 4 feet 4 inches to be for exact. I think this is okay for now. So once I've got my door, I'll just rename these doors accordingly. Now here we have a door of our own, and we could also add another door, single flush door of a standard height for the interiors. So these doors need not to be in the exact location that you are seeing here. You could always change the direction of the doors as per the requirement. So you could always change the direction of the door. You could move the door, and you need not worry about the trimming and stuff like those, because since it is a building information modeling software, the updating of the trimming and extruding of the doors, extruding of the walls, everything would be incorporated along with your dimensioning, along with your designing. So whatever you design, it would always be updated in this 3D model. So once you've done with the interior planning, you will always add components from this component tab. Right now I don't have a lot of components, so I'm not going through it. You could do it another time. So right now we have done with the doors. Now going with the windows, there are a fixed set of windows over here. This is of 36 inches by 48. It's 3 feet by 4 feet to be exact. So I need a bit higher window. So I'm going to place the windows over here. So I'm going to use the same window. Once you need not worry about the window direction, because you could add any kind of window as per your requirement, as per your demand. So if you require any other type of window, you could always select it. So if I say I require a big larger window, I require another type of window, you could always go the same process, go to the edit type, and then load another window, or just load another type of window that you want to adjust here. So let's say I'm going to use this glazing bar window over here, like you're seeing here. So I'm going to use this one. I think this one looks okay for now. Now with the dimensions, there are a lot of dimensions over here because it has a lot of detailings. Now I basically what I need is the height. I don't think this is enough for me. Let's say I want a 7 feet dimension height, and then I need a width of say 8 feet. I need a big window. I want an 8 feet wide window. So once I've selected it, press OK, and then I'm going to select the window. Once you've selected the window, let's go to the edit type again, and let's duplicate this window. If I want to make it as a ribbon window, I'm going to use the height of let's say 2 feet. As you can see that the dimensions are being updated as we speak. So here this dimension is not as per my thought, so I'm just going to move these dimensions. So once selected, I'm going to edit this type. Let's say I'm going to use the width of 10 feet. Apply. Okay, so this is of a 10 feet window. Now I want the same window in my north view, this direction, so I use the same window. I'd go to the modify tab again, press window. So I'd use the tuple driven window option. And I'll use the ribbon window accordingly. If you want a different window, I'll go with the fixed window. Let's say I'm going to use the 72-inch window, so I'm using the 72-inch window over here. The width is going to be 6 feet. Okay, so this is the 6 feet window. I'm going to place right the sides here. Now the basic layout of the windows have been done in the design as per accordingly. So the direction is as per your, you could always change the directions, so it's not much of a bigger deal. You could always change the directions of the windows. So I'm just keeping the directions in the same manner, so that once the directions have been kept as according to the required design, you could always shift the type of design you require. And just changing the directions of the windows. Similarly, you could add a other stairs, other requirements, other kitchen. If you want a layout of a living room, you could add your couch, your dining table, anything that you require. You could design in this ground floor plan. So once you have planned the ground floor accordingly, you have just kept the windows, you have just kept the doors, and also you've also done with the interior walls. Now let's go back and see the 3D view of what we are getting. So here we have the 3D view. As you could see that the windows are not in the alignment. You could always change the alignment of the windows, it's not a big deal. So you could go with the south direction, so these are all in same line. So the north, you could simply so we are just arranging the dimensions. So I think this layout is almost done. So once you have done with the ground floor plan, let's go to the roof level. Here in the roof level, we can see that the offset of this building is already marked. So we could just add a roof over its head. Now there are two different types of roof. Now one is by roof print. There are other types of roof as well. But let's go with the footprint, and you'll see what I'm talking about. When you have done, you are selecting the roof plan. Just select the pick walls tool here, and here you have the define slope tab. Deselect this define slope tab. If you select it, the elevation of the slope would be a different kind of view. So what we do, we just add another different our customized type of roof view over here. We pick walls from this one, have the overhang of I think 3 feet. Pick walls, and we go with the same directions. Now going through with the clockwise direction. If the wall has been selected. Now if you want to add a sloping arrow, you always add a sloping arrow, like we are seeing this one, where you need the slope to go. If you require the slope from this side to this one, then you add a slope, press OK. Now let's look back at the 3D view, what we're getting here. But the roof has been created, but the walls don't seem to match with the roof. So what we're going to do is, in the roof level, go to the ground floor level. What we do is select the walls, select the walls you require to be attached to the roof. Select the walls. Once all of the walls have been selected, you press attach top to the base. Once this option has been selected, now go to the soft view. Going to the roof, we're adding a roof in this building. Let's go back again and revise our options. We select the roof tools. Once the roof tool has been selected, define the slope and you get a definitive roof over this building. Press OK. Then in the 3D view you could find that a roof has been created. Now if you want a different type of roof, if you don't want this typical default roof that is shown here, we could go back and we could make the roof designing in a different manner. Select the roof, double click it, and then here select the line where you don't want that slope to be. This symbol represents slope. So if you don't want a slope over here, just deselect the slope tool. If you don't want a slope here, if you don't want a slope here, just deselect the slope. Let's keep the slope in one side only, and let's see how the design works for us. Once selected, let's go to 3D view. Now let's attach this walls to the roof base. What we can do is select the wall, we attach it to the top base, we select the wall, attach the walls accordingly, attach this wall as well. Once the walls have been attached to the top, we go back and check the 3D view. These walls are connected to the roof level, so we are getting this type of error. So once the roof is in contact, right now we could easily attach this top of the wall. We could add other walls as well. We could attach this wall as well, and then we use another wall. It has the top of the base, and we use it as to the top base of the wall. attaching the wall to the top. It has a wall to the top from the elevation view. The wall is being attached here, as you can see in the elevation manner. So this is the north wall. This wall hasn't been attached to the upper part. You just, it has a top base. Select the wall you require to attach. As we've seen here, we attach that walls as per our requirement. So this is the type of layout that we're getting here. But if for say if you require the slope to be in the opposite direction, you want the slope to go in the opposite direction, you can always select the roof. First of all, you select the roof, and then you go to the roof level, double click this roof, and then you could add slope to this direction. Define slope, there is an overhang, 3 feet, okay, and this slope, this part we remove the slope and use the overhang of 5 feet, we say. Now let's go to the elevations. Okay, the slope is very high, so we just redesign the slope as per our demand. I think this slope is okay. This slope is okay for now, so we could easily change the type of slope from the elevations. Now let's go to the 3D view. I think this looks decent enough. Here you can see that we have successfully made a building with the basic tools. So here we completed our basic tutorial for the Revit architecture. Likewise, you could do other projects as well. You could go and browse through your designing, and you could do other designing as well in this software. So and this way we designed a building and we designed a sample project for our Revit basic tutorial. And so let's now further we would continue with the other dimensioning and scheduling in our next tutorial. Now saying this, I would like to conclude this tutorial right here, and I would like to say everyone a very happy and a nice day. Just practice well, and just remember that this software here is a very powerful tool, and if the more you practice, the more you get excellent in the designing in the software. You could easily plan your building, you could easily revise your drawings, which would be very hectic in other software like AutoCAD. So let's use this software for now and practice it in your ease. So saying this, I would like to say bye bye and have a nice day. Thank you.